You're the Israel guy. You're our guy, bro. And we are now well into the moment with Israel, with TPUSA, with Candace, with the Trump government, with everything. And what's going on, man? Where are you at, Nick? Like, yeah, Nick is still doing his thing. He's still running his show. He's still being critical of Israel. But he's also doing the podcast circuit, basically running everything he can against Candace and against actual, like, factual information. I could understand if Nick was skeptical of Candace's sources, but Nick is straight up, like, not here. Not there for the conversation about Israel in the way I think a lot of us expect and the way I think a lot of us were ready for. It's like arriving on the battlefield and your general is off hanging out with Steven Crowder. Like, you're supposed to be our guy, bro. This is your moment. This is your moment on so many levels, dude. Where are you? You're on Steven Crowder disavowing the people that are actually out here taking on Israel, taking on the deep state, taking on the whole thing. And you're over here with Crowder. With Crowder. And we're going to get into all of these different elements throughout this show. And like, the world is not about picking sides. But sometimes when you look at the sides of an issue, it tells you a lot about the issue. And it tells you a lot about how. If you are thinking about a thing in a way that makes you arrive at the same conclusion as Tim Pool and as Steven Crowder and as Rabbi Shmuley and as all these other people. And to be clear, I'm not saying that Nick is the same as Rabbi Shmuley. And I'm just saying. How are you winding up at the conclusion of these guys? With all that you know, with all that you've called out, with your deep understanding of how Jewish donors control things, with your deep understanding of the history of Mossad and of the CIA, you don't even think there's a possibility? Not even a chance. And this is supposed to be your moment. This is supposed to be your rise. You're on the generational run, bro. And you have generationally run right to Steven Crowder's show to hang out with the Fed slop narrative for like kind of a facetious take on it. It's very confusing to a lot of us, and it's a bummer because I genuinely like you being here. I genuinely like that you challenge the conversation, and I'm genuinely impressed by what you've done with your platform and your messaging over the years. But like, I think a lot of creators right now are feeling the way I'm feeling and are just afraid to say it because we all know how the Groypers are. And we all know that Nick is good at holding a grudge. And that's cool. If Nick wants to hold a grudge, that's fine. I'm not stressed. But I'm just genuinely like, bro, this is your moment. And you ain't here. We're all on the front lines of battle for America, to save America from this influence.